Hey guys, how's it going? Are you all having a very nice day? I certainly hope you are, because right now it's time for a bit of domination commentary from Call of Duty 4 on Crash. Now, I know I don't really bring Call of Duty, and at one point I think I said I'm never going to play Call of Duty again, but Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, throw that to me any day. I'll quite happily do a commentary on that. It's just Modern Warfare 2, no, 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 no. I'm sure many of you are still saying, what about Black Ops, British fanboy, will you get that? I've been saying no, no, no constantly, but then I remembered last year when Modern Warfare 2 came out, Morrison's and Tesco started selling the game for about £25, when normally the games are worth £40 to £45 for a Call of Duty game. So if they do that again this year for Black Ops, then I may get it, but if not, then I'm not going to bother with it because I'm quite sick of the franchise, to be totally honest, but you can still have a lot of fun with the games. So right now I'm using the G3, but then later on I swapped to the AK and stuff. Really love the G3 in this game, it's a very good gun. And the AK, it's not too overpowered and stuff, because it's not very accurate over long range, but close range, it's an absolute beast. Alright, so this commentary, I'm going to be telling you guys about what I do for work, because we're all aware that when we listen to our commentators and stuff, we just think, well, that's all they do, they just commentate and play games. Well, no, you sad fucker, we have jobs as well. How do you think we buy games? Idiots. But anyways, my job, I'm actually quite lucky to have quite a simple job. I work as a glass collector at a local nightclub, and I really need more hours there. I can only get 1 day a week right now, but the thing is that I might be able to get some more hours within the next few weeks anyway, because there's some new management coming in, which may mean rotas may change and stuff, which means I might be able to get trained into work during the day shifts, not just the glass collecting at night. I might be able to do waiting or something during the day, which would be great because I need money to live and shit, and buy all these hookers which I'm planning to get. I'm planning to have a 17 hooker party, I don't know how that will go, but whatever. Don't ask why it's 17, it's one better than 16, isn't it? But anyways, so yeah, I've just realised that loads of really interesting things happen at my work, and in fact, lots of interesting things happen to everybody at work, really. We just don't really think about it. No matter what your job is, chances are something interesting happens. And luckily, I'm in a position where lots of people are getting very drunk very early on, and it just makes for some absolutely hilarious times. I'm just going to tell you some of the drunken things I've done, and not I've done, sorry, which other people have done that I have seen, and it's just going to be absolutely brilliant. Firstly, drunken people doing drunken things. As we all know, people like to get a little bit tipsy in a nightclub, and they have seen some very, very funny things. Like last night, there was a man who was trying to open a push door, not by pulling it, but he was pushing the hinge side repeatedly. How do I do this? Like, just push it that side, mate. He's like, oh, thanks, I don't know where I'll be without you. It's like, you'll still be standing here, won't you? Daft cunt. Anyways, and also there is a stripper pole in the nightclub, and unfortunately it's not only used by the girls. Oh dear. Yeah, there was a rather large sweaty man using it last night, and he really shouldn't have. Firstly it looked like he was going to tear it off the ceiling for a start, and just fat man, Nothing against fat people, but fat people don't use stripper poles unless you are doing it for exercise and to get fit, because it actually is quite a good exercise right now. I've heard it's very popular. Lots of people are doing it to keep fit, so that's great, but don't do it publicly in a nightclub, you know what I'm saying? Keep it in your little exercise sessions that you can do at the local gym and stuff. Oh yeah, there was actually first time there was a tiny little fight since I've been working there. I've been working there for about maybe 5-6 weeks now, and the first time I saw a possible fight break out between two girls, but the thing is that one of the girls who was yelling at the other one, the person she was yelling at had already walked off quite a bit and was maybe about 6 meters away. It was very loud in there, and I don't even think she realised that someone was trying to pick a fight with her, but she decided to pick the fight right next to the biggest bouncer we've got. So, that was a very big mistake on her part. She got a firm hand and just got a firm telling off, because the bouncers there, not much kicks off there and stuff, so when something does kick off, the bouncers get in very quickly, which is a very good thing. I work with a lot of very nice people and stuff, but I generally don't have time to talk to people because I'm always busy. Whenever I'm working, I have to keep busy. A lot of people say, oh, I need a break, I need to sit down and stuff, but I don't. I need to keep working just so I don't get bored, so to speak. And, I'm fine with it that way. And it's actually not long hours, it's only 6 hours or so. And like I said, that's not good as an actual job in terms of getting money and stuff, 6 hours a week. But you know, it's a start, isn't it? And like I said, I might be able to get more hours in the future. And some of which I really like about it, like I said, it's fairly easy, but there are some things I don't like about it, such as the mess. Obviously I'm a glass collector, so my job is to clean up after people's mess. And last night, a pipe in the men's toilets decided to burst, and unfortunately, I had to draw the short straw with a mop and go in there. And then some guy had the audacity to make fun of me while he was, like, leaning against the wall with his head, trying to have a piss in the urinal. I'm like, yeah, sure, mate, who's got more dignity right now, you or me? You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I had to clean that up, so it wasn't that bad, I suppose. At least it didn't smell bad or anything. At least I had a mop, so I could have said, clean this with your toothbrush, Private Gump, or something like that. I don't know. But so we get a lot of as well. We get a lot of costumes. We get a lot of people coming in costumes and dressing up and stuff. And last night we had some people coming in pajamas, and that was interesting. It made me want to go to sleep because they came in at maybe, you know, 1 o'clock in the morning. And so there's an hour from closing time, and they came in pajamas. I'm like, oh, I want to go to bed. But you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles. That's how the biscuit disintegrates. That's how the hooker spreads AIDS. I don't know. And what was that other thing I was going to mention? Oh, it's completely slipped from my head. It's probably not that important if that's the case. But what was that? It was a really funny story, which it's something to do with someone trying. Oh yeah, here we go. People trying to hand me glasses and stuff while I'm working and stuff. I appreciate that you're trying to help me working and stuff, but there are times where, well, you know, you shouldn't, because you'll hand me a full pint saying I don't want that, while I've already got like about 9 pints in my hand, saying, well, I'll probably spill that if you give it to me. It's like, take it. So I'm like, oh, great. So I've got to be really, really careful with that. And other times, here's something really, really funny. It's just that whenever I'm working quite late, I have got what I call my motivational chewing gum. Okay, it's a very strange habit because we all have things we do to make time pass while we're working, and I've got motivational chewing gum. And how the motivational chewing gum works is that when I go to work, I have 3 pieces of chewing gum with me. Okay, I have one when I start, so I've got some chewing gum when I've started, and then that will stay there with me for 2 hours. I'll keep that chewing gum for 2 hours, and then by the time the 2 hours is over, it'll be midnight. And then I'll be able to say, okay, it's midnight now, I can have that other piece. So, you know, I can just kind of motivate myself to keep going like, oh yeah, I can have my new fresh, new minty flavour in half an hour. And it's just something to keep me going and stuff. We all have these little things. What do you do to keep yourself motivated at work? Now, I know at my old job where I worked at a wool mill, actually, of all the places, there was literally nothing to do. And it was so horrible. It was horrible working there. I'm very glad I stopped. Well, no, I didn't actually stop. I got laid off work because since it's a seasonal job, you know, obviously will only cut their wool in the... Not will only cut their wool. Sheep only get their wool shaved, you know, only a couple times a year. So when it starts to get towards autumn and stuff, there isn't much business. So I got laid off along with maybe 4 other students who worked there. But, you know, it gave me enough money to get started when I moved into this house in university. So that was a very good thing. I'm glad I saw through to the end. Alright, so there's, speaking of seeing it through to the end, there's the domination commentary. I hope you enjoyed it. I might bring more Call of Duty 4 and stuff, but I generally don't like it as much as other games. You know, I prefer Mag, I prefer Battlefield, definitely prefer Battlefield. Alright guys, so I'll see you around. Remember to send in your videos via Dropbox, and I hope you all have fun times at work, and I hope you all don't contract AIDS or something. See you around guys, British fanboy.